that is a part of the manosphere I am not okay with.
Of course, my car's not insured.
Rupert Lowe has cloned himself.
Apples.
What a bizarre sentence.
Oh, David. Hello, welcome to this week's Well, That Went Well Q&A session. This is the second one we've done. It went quite well last week.
Went well for you. I felt like I just got absolutely hammered in the comments, but that's what I'm here for. Yeah. You know, like how Jesus was like turn the other cheek. That's me, but like a right-wing Jesus.
A right-wing Messiah.
That does sound like one of those, I don't know why, a really northern insults. You know, the kind of thing that a housewife would say over the fence to someone. Right-wing Messiah. He's a
right-wing Messiah, he is.
A right-wing Messiah, that one.
Can I just point out that someone's kicked in the studio? Have you seen that?
That might have been you after last week's episode when you said all songs sound the same these days. And what was the other thing that you did that made you sound like a dad?
Said, oh, that's good to boogie to. Or something.
Yeah. Send me your new vinyls. If you haven't seen that, watch the episode. It's worth
because
it, literally.
I basically shame myself.
You were trying to sound cool.
Me, age 48, trying to sound cool.
Yes, yeah. It's worth a watch. But we got questions, right? We got questions.
We do have some questions.
So just before Tom starts reading the questions, thanks for sending them in. Just write more ones in the comment sections below and they will be considered for the next episode of the Q&As.
This is from Coptic Cana. He refers to the fact that you doing impressions is sort of a little bit. You're quite good at doing impressions, although your Burnham's on the way.
It's on the way. It's like caricatures, is the way I describe it.
Can you do an impression of each other?
No. I think you've got a kind of voice that I struggle to get.
What, a fairly articulate.
You've got good resonance to your voice.
Yeah.
Articulate.
Talk proper English.
Yes.
You can't do that.
You know where commas go. Yeah. I can do you. Could you do me?
Well, I could do sort of a generic sort of London, but it's not you, is it?
But when people do that, when people impersonate me, that's what they do, and I'm genuinely.
That's what they do. You've got to
that
do.
Sounded like it.
Do.
That did, yeah.
Yeah, that did.
Yeah, my son, that's how he would character. Very monosyllabic, my voice.
David Cameron. David Cameron. No, that's my impression of David.
Yeah.
David. I don't know why he's got two dicks.
Yeah, David two dicks.
From John Lowe 4064. If Count Binface wins, will he be a good MP?
Well, he has said that he's not going to expose his real personality in the Commons, which means he won't be able to take his seat, which means that he'll be like Sinn Féin. So that's my little journey.
Or just have an actor dub his voice like they did with Sinn Féin.
God, that was hilarious, wasn't it?
Ridiculous.
Do you think that? I mean, I don't know what the point. Did they think that Jerry Adams had such a sexy voice that he would rally people to the cause?
I mean, it was a massive deplatforming. You were not allowed to broadcast any member of Sinn Féin's voice, but you were allowed to dub over it.
I find that so weird because I don't understand the logic of it. I do think, by the way, for me, Northern Irish accent, one of the top accents in the world.
Right.
It's just so seductive, you know, when you start lyrical, it loads, but it's also got a bit of edge to it as well.
Yeah, it's
best accent. Yeah. But what best accents? Me, Belfast, Glasgow, London.
Oh, see now because I'm posh, I take Edinburgh over Glasgow. Glasgow and Edinburgh.
The sort of Ewan McGregor slightly.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit, you know.
Yeah. What happens to it? Where does it go?
Well, it's just sort of there, you know.
We're doing Billy Connolly.
We're going back to the impression question here.
We are.
Will he be good? I read a little thing that obviously sort of some of his things are jokey, but he did say, which is clearly a dig to Farage, but he said, I'll do a surgery every week. Because clearly Farage has not done probably a single surgery, one imagine, because he's so concerned about, you know, his safety. But so that's, so maybe actually even if he isn't allowed in the Commons, actually talking to the people of Clacton and trying to get their stuff, because they call it casework.
But he won't know, because if he stays in character, that will actually be worse than Farage, because somebody will say, oh, my boiler's broken down. He'll go, have you considered going to Gargon 4 and maybe getting somebody from Thames Water to swim in shit? And she'll go, well, that was offensive.
Yeah. What I'd quite like, though, is if he does win and he takes it off, and then we finally get to know what he really is, and he's a fucking massive right-winger. Suddenly he's just like, I will, I don't know why he's... Yeah, it's just, can you imagine?
God, if it's Rupert, I mean, he is already an MP, Rupert Lowe, but...
He'd probably double up.
Rupert Lowe has cloned himself.
Oh.
And this is how he takes power, one by-election at a time.
What's worse... This is on the back of a discussion we had last week. What's worse, fungal feet or sandals with socks?
Well, fungal feet, is there more of it these days? Because I don't remember it being a big thing. I've got a bit of fungal feet at the moment. So you think less of me? That is very...
I just would, if I was having a fungal foot problem right now, I would not have admitted that.
Well, if you look on TikTok, like maybe that's why I see the adverts for it.
Oh, those fucking those real close-ups of a skanky nail.
Is there something in our diet that is making fungal feet more likely?
Maybe I think it could be the prevalence of non-leather uppers and soles.
Oh, do you think?
So it's people wearing fucking stinky trainers over and over and over and over again. But
that could
I think sandals with socks, I hate it. Crocs with socks is bad. My mum and my sister clubbed together to buy me a pair of Ugg boots. Now, what
a bizarre sentence.
Right, I know. Yeah. Now, to be fair, they live in Australia because apparently they're quite expensive. Now, they do live in Australia, and Ugg boots are an Australian brand, and men walk around in Ugg boots in Australia. But I must say, I always thought this is an odd gift. They are very, very cozy and comfortable. So they are what I might wear around the house in the winter, right? These Ugg boots. But I did say to myself that, if I catch myself walking down the street in these, I need to go home and, just end it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was in my local Tesco's. I was in the queue and I looked down and, oh my God, I'm wearing the Ugg boots. I'm wearing the Ugg boots out and about. I can't believe it. And I nearly went to go home. And then I noticed that the guy in front of me was wearing Crocs with socks. And I thought, compared to the two, he looks like the biggest dick. Yeah. Crocs in socks. Crocs generally are unforgivable.
What were you queuing for? Was it like the worst dressed gentleman's club in London?
No, to pay for my bread. I was in Tesco, but yeah, it was a line of shit feet. And I wonder if the guy behind me had fungal. I don't know what's worse, but
so it was between fungal toes and socks.
Fungal toes and Crocs with socks. Not Crocs with socks. Sandals with socks, but Crocs generally. I'm sorry, I don't
Crocs
care.
Are bad enough on their own, but with socks,
particularly when people augment them with the little things they stick in the holes. It's like
it's about bizarre counterculture. There's a lot about this that surprised me. The fact that Ugg boots, we associate Australian males with being quite macho. Is it maybe like the fact that they are very popular in Australia? It's like John Wayne being called Marion. Is you're that much of a man that you can wear them and still own it? Is that the logic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. You're such a man.
Well, you take the ute out into the bush and steal some land.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's as manly to steal land from Nate. Anyway.
Well, it is.
I mean, it's manly, but I'd say even I would agree with the feminists. That might be on the slight toxic masculinity side.
What?
The stealing of land.
Stealing of land and the mass slaughter and genocide of an indigenous species.
Yeah,
it's the British way, Geoff.
Yeah, I mean, that is a part of the manosphere I am not okay with.
What do you wish the opposing political side, this is from Harry Turner, what do you wish the opposing political side would understand?
Okay, well, that's an interesting question because I was talking to my wife about this. When you're right of centre, right, I think one of the things people misunderstand is they sort of go, well, so you want billionaires to be wealthy, or you want, like, they characterise it as you wanting a bunch of things that you don't actually want. Like, if there was a way of taxing really wealthy people more, like if I could just go and pickpocket Elon Musk for half of his wealth or more, great, I would do it, or even people with 10 million quid. It's more about the consequences of those things. So if that ends up with us having less money for tax revenues to spend on hospitals and schools, right? And I was thinking, like, a thing that I think, who is it that said this? Might have been Michael Gove, right? What a one to drop here. David Cameron last week, Michael Gove this week. But he said, being right-wing is about seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And I would say that's definitely where I come from. It's like it's a pragmatic, like all that stuff on the left is lovely stuff. I just don't think that most of it works. So
but shouldn't politics be aspirational, and therefore it should be a combination of the two? This is the state of affairs. As is factually true, and therefore we need to deal with that and accept the way things are. However, we must surely aspire to things that are difficult and hard for the better of more people than not.
Doing hard stuff, you could say, is quite conservative, but like it's the utopian stuff that I've never been down with. You could argue that the utopian stuff, the Thatcher was a bit of that. Now people probably hate her legacy, but it was believing that something radically different was possible.
Yeah, and what I would agree, and where lefties have sort of gone wrong, is that sort of that woke utopia that we were always after, where anything but absolute tolerance. A lack of tolerance will not be tolerated.
Identity became worrying more about stuff that happened a few hundred years ago than stuff that was happening today.
Yeah, and also therefore concentrating on actually worries of middle class Guardian readers rather than the worries of potential Tory voters in the old Labour belt, in the old Red belt.
Yeah, you look distracted. I think that's what happened to the left. Certainly in the book that I wrote, still available. Where did I go right? That was one of the things I said. It kind of makes you look frivolous if you're a left-wing person on Jeremy Vine is sort of arguing about identitarian stuff.
Yes.
And like people going, I'm skin and I'm getting skinner.
Yes.
And I don't feel like anyone's saying that.
I've been banging on about that for a decade, that exact issue, and that's why people assumed that I was some right-wing Nazi for a while, because I was just pointing out that it's not tactically smart to concentrate on identitarian issues and identitarian equality rather than fiscal equality. That's if you can deal with financial inequality and make that your main aim, the chances are a lot of other inequalities will start to be ironed out.
They got their Trojan horse the wrong way round.
Yes, exactly.
They had what would that be? That'd be the soldiers outside the horse, or I don't know.
Yeah,
they put the thing in the wrong thing.
Yeah.
If you'd have made everyone a bit wealthier, and then you say, oh, by the way, we also think that we should deal with stolen lands from years ago. You go, you know what? I'm fucking rich.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Everyone, no one's starving. There's no homeless. Right? How about reparations for slavery now?
Yes.
I might have fucked some people off there, but I would say in answer to this question that what I think it's a mischaracterization. I think I mentioned it in our episode last week, but it's this accusation from the right that anyone who is on the left that is mildly successful or rich is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And there's a particular phrase that really pisses me off, which is champagne socialism, as if it's an insult, right? Because the way I see it is, for socialism to work, and socialism isn't communism, right? Socialism is, in my head, about reining in the excesses of capitalism. It accepts, like you were saying, it accepts the reality that we live in a capitalist world, but it's about reining it in and redistributing wealth a little bit more equally. But this idea that if you're a millionaire and you're a socialist, that you are a hypocrite. Because that's what champagne socialist, the insult is, right? It's an accusation of hypocrisy. I don't think there is an hypocrisy in someone who's done really well and is a multimillionaire who says, I'm happy to pay more tax. I don't think there's a hypocrisy there. And for socialism to work, the exact people you want Gary Lineker to be a socialist. If you're a socialist, you want that rich millionaire, because if it's just poor people being socialists, socialism doesn't work.
That's a really good point. I mean, could I just say though, it's the most fun accusation to make if you just want to be a dick about it. But
at least you admit it's a dickish, it's a vapid argument, right?
It can be, but it's a lot of fun. Like from the tabloids to say that as he climbed into his £2 million private jet, like those simple. I remember with Joe Lycett, he was I think like quite interestingly calling out people at a certain level of wealth, and then about the World Cup being in Qatar, and then it was pointed out that he'd done a gig in Dubai like 15 years ago for 200 quid. But I go, well, I can completely discount his view. I'm not sure you can completely discount
because also a gig for 200 quid when you're a poor, impoverished guy.
Well, that got a bit deep. Have you got anything else in the questions letter bag?
Something a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
A little more frivolous. Let's have a look. Given current world fuckery, are you prepared to rewrite shows nightly?
I see.
How much rewriting do you do?
Can I say, I love this when comedians put it out there as a way of getting PR. Well, I've had to completely rewrite my show. It happened after Brexit, didn't it? And I got on loads of shows because I was going, oh yeah, that 7-minute bit I had to change a couple of the fucking punchlines here. I think the public like the idea that we're sitting up and we're reading broadsheet newspapers. But like the gags that work politically they have to work across a longer period of time. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless you're doing a topical show like this, you need things that are broadly about, say, who Andy Burnham is. I'll need to like land on something. So one of the things I've been saying about Burnham, I'm working up for the Edinburgh thing, is they keep saying, oh, well, he's just like you. And my thing is, I don't want people like me. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucking useless. I'm feckless. Yeah. If you gave me a grand in cash, I'd call my dealer and book a holiday, right? Yeah. So it's a kind of contrarian thing. So that's a start on my Burnham thing. But that will hopefully make sense whatever's happening in the news. If you know
I know what you mean.
Yeah. There's got to be broader than just the day-to-day stuff.
The first tour I ever did was actually, it was essentially on tour for a year, really, because it was in my halcyon days, and at the start of that show, the villains of the piece were Cameron and Osborne, right? And then we were about to have a referendum, but we knew what that was going to go. I think Donald Trump had come down some escalators saying he was going to be president. Whatever. I remember the night we voted to leave the EU, I opened my script and I went through everything that was no longer relevant, and it was a third of the show.
All right.
So that was really tough. And then not long after that, Trump was in, and suddenly I'd had a couple of jokes about Trump, and you go, I need to write something about this. That was really tough. But I learned quite early on is that when you're writing a show, you have to kind of future-proof it. And almost like if your structure's there, you can hook on set pieces and hook them off and put something else there.
Would you know that principle that you're talking about, something about somebody genuinely disrupting a show? There was a comic, I can't remember who it was, but had done a show for the Edinburgh Fringe in 2005 about why a British-born person would never commit an act of terrorism. Yeah, and then July 7th happened. So I mean, the title was almost literally that. Why
this will never happen.
This definitely won't fucking happen. Yeah. So it does happen sometimes, but I think, and also for the public to find political jokes funny, when they talk about your political stuff, you have to keep it broad enough that there's like an access point. Yeah. If you start
going into the minutiae of this junior minister,
or custom, who remembers Annalise Dodds? Nobody, right? Like customs union. There was no way of making anything. Like, so much of the Brexit stuff was hard to make funny because it was either people that violently disagreed, or it was about the most boring shit ever. Like the most kind of like air conditioned kind of meeting rooms in Brussels. And people would say, oh, it should be a boom time for you. No, do you know the funniest time for me was when it became Rishi Sunak versus Keir Starmer. I thought, this is hilarious. Both of these guys are absolute numpties, zero charisma. They both look like they should be working for a mortgage salesman company, So that then political comedy got funnier to me.
I know what you mean. I'm in this weird position right now where obviously I have a go at Labour, and obviously I'm going to have a go at Reform. But at the moment, I haven't touched my script about Labour for the last 6 weeks because it's pointless. I need to let him get in before I know what I've got to say. And suddenly the other week when I saw Nigel Farage has resigned, it was like, yes, but oh my God, because there's a good 20-minute set piece about him. Yeah. And I have tried to go through it and go, what would I do if he goes? Because he might go.
You should donate to him.
Just to keep him? Yeah. Please donate to Nigel Farage.
You should personally do a significant donation just to keep him going. And then when you've got what you need, just leak it to the Guardian.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, wicked. Nice. All right, there you go.
I'm really happy with that last question because it means I didn't have to make up a question for us to promote our live work.
Well, I think we both did it implicitly there. Yours with the dodgy donations for the show. The world according to...
the end of the world according to Jonathan Pye.
The end of the world according to Jonathan Pye.
And what's yours?
Basic Bloke 2.
Yeah.
I like a basic title. And that's at the Edinburgh Fringe from the 24th of August to the 30th of August. With improved Burnham. He doesn't speak like that. No, it's not like that. I mean, that would be the worst impression.
That's my fucking impression of Burnham.
No, do you know what? That might be funnier. Like if you're just really
do it like almost the spitting image version,
or the Harry Enfield version. Yeah. Just go, hey, I'm on the calm down.
Fucking hell. Hey, fucking hell. Of course my car's not insured.
Hey, fucking hell. Fucking Josephine.
Put a fucking brick through your window, you...
I mean, just to be...
Sorry,
Okay, listen, before he does any more C-bombs, thank you for all your questions for the Q&As. Do stick more in the comments, and we'll be back with another show 4 of our 5-show run next Friday. Or this Friday coming. Yeah, exactly. We're the last 2 shows. So, like it, subscribe, share, and we'll do more. It's as simple as that.